Watch this and we're going to talk about it.
Why is Trump making such a loud outcry against DEI despite it being a relatively powerless program?
So we are the primary competition for white male Americans. The white male Americans, you've created a problem for the white working class and the white underclass, but you want to make them think that blacks have created that problem. So you attack DEI as though that was an instrument that gave blacks an advantage over whites. The people who have profited most by DEI is white people. But they don't know that because the people they're trusting is telling them just the opposite. You want to find out who's getting the food stamps? It's white women. You want to find out who's the majority on welfare? It's still white people. But they don't want to accept that about themselves. You really have to show them that. They're told that black people are getting all these advantages because of DEA. They're being given jobs they're not qualified for, what they don't deserve, and that's why you're unemployed. They don't want them to know you're unemployed because we've sent all the factories overseas to get cheap labor, and that's why you're unemployed. When they realize that's not true, his 4 years will be over. If they would have used and gotten white people to vote against their own self-interest one more time by making them thinking that they're voting against black interests, and they end up voting against their own self-interest. They did the same thing after the Civil War by saying the reason you're impoverished is not because planters of the South are a bunch of greedy robber barons, but because these black people now, who you had working in the fields for free for 400 years, is now working for a salary. You weren't working in that field 400 years. You didn't have no salary picking cotton, so how you gonna blame the black man who you gotta pay now to pick the cotton for taking your job, and you never had that job to begin with? The person that's the trouble element here is the ignorance of the general white population who buy into thinking because they're not at the top as they fantasize they should be without having slave labor, that somebody has taken something from them that they never had. So take the DEI out and let's see, and you'll still see you still don't have it because you never prepared yourself for it.
This is the age of information, the age of enlightenment. Okay? Everything that was done in the dark is coming to light. All the tricks and the scheme and the lies, the wool is being pulled from our eyes. I mean, just look how China's exposing everything. This is the age of exposing. All right, let's give it up for truth coming to light.